listening to ScreenView with Peter Van, Aimee Morgan, and John Denny. Fan us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or join in on the conversation on Google+.
Well, I don't know if I've got your...
Welcome to ScreenView episode 8, the pre-turkey coma edition. And with me, I have John Denny and Aimee Morgan.
Hello.
Hello, guys. How are you?
We're
Very
good.
good.
We were just talking about ear infections.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Short week this week.
Yeah, it's a very short week this week. Tomorrow, and then everybody gets to have off for 2 days.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
most people, at least.
Most people.
Yeah.
I do. I do it for the first time in my career. Have Thursday and Friday off.
Oh,
You
awesome.
never used to have Friday off?
Nope, never did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, it makes you feel any better. My mom has to work those days, so.
Oh, that sucks.
Well,
Mom.
you know, gambling. People don't
Yeah.
stop gambling.
Yeah.
So it's always open. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about
Television.
television and movies. So just a little bit of in case you didn't listen last week to our live show fiasco, which we're not live this week because, well, it's Tuesday. I don't feel like doing it. But anyway, it is.
It's a short week, too.
Yeah, it's
All right.
a short week. It's near the end of National Podcast Posting Month, and just to let you know, we, along with our staples of Radio Free Cybertron, New Soundwave, Superhero Time, Fanboy Versus, and BitBapped 2099, which Aimee is on. We're also doing some other shows like Old Soundwave, which is retro gaming show, Outside the Cage, MMA, and actually, as we speak right now, they are recording a Black Friday show, which they will talk about, some deals that are coming up, as well as some Black Friday horror stories. So
Nice.
be sure to follow that. That will be coming this week.
They have They have a lot of really good Black Friday horror stories.
Yeah,
So,
the Black Friday horror
yeah.
stories. I actually have only success stories. I don't have horror stories.
Just as a quick aside, I learned today why Black Friday was called Black Friday. Because a Philadelphia cop was upset that the streets were mobbed. So he was like, this is such a Black Friday, like meaning it's like such a horrible thing.
Oh, wow.
That yeah, that's how it came up.
Well, I mean, Black Friday
Point of
mainly
reference.
talks about most stores lose money, so the Friday is the first day that puts them into the black, mostly.
Yeah, it's not true. That's not why it's not why it's called Black Friday. I just told you why it's called Black Friday.
Some guy
That's-
just
yeah.
decided to say
Some
it's
guy
a Dark
just said it.
Friday.
Yeah, some
Right.
guy just said it, and it spread through the rest of the world.
Cyber Monday must have come because of the internet.
Some guy must have been like, "It's Cyber Monday," and then it happened.
Back on track.
Okay, so one of the biggest pieces of news that we will know is that Arrested Development is back.
Yay.
Yay! I'm very happy about it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
I've
so-
never seen it. I'm just saying yay because I'm a follower.
Yeah, Arrested Development is a very it's a single,
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Yes, it's a single camera show, so it is definitely interesting. It was one of the first shows that kind of like took off that didn't have like a laugh track, and it was very quirky. But nobody watched it. But yet Fox still renewed it for two more seasons, so it made it to 3 seasons. But it won a lot of Emmys. It won like a crap load of Emmys, so that's probably maybe why they kept it on. Not exactly sure. But so Netflix, in a bidding war with Hulu and Showtime, were able to win 9 or 10 episodes. Not sure yet. The details were not disclosed, but it will begin to show on Netflix exclusively starting 2013, early 2013.
There's no
Nice.
contract in place yet, right?
Right. So
The
that's why they
actors?
don't want to say how many episodes yet or anything like that. And it's 2013.
Yeah, it could be just one season.
Well, that's the thing was it would be 9 or 10 episodes, and then they would have a feature film. And then Jason Bateman, who is the lead, like one of the leads of the show, he said that probably they'll shoot them all next year. But that that depends on the contract.
Now, what if? I mean, obviously you don't know the answer to this, but what if they can't get? What if they get like 75% of the actors back?
There's always a worry about that. but most of I think it was probably 100%, I would think, expressed interest in coming back to do the show.
I mean, that's one thing, but one guy is under contract right now from Up All Night, right?
Right.
So that might throw a wrench into the works.
Maybe.
I mean, shooting schedule wise,
Yeah.
you know, who knows with movies that people are going to be on if that could throw a wrench into the works. I'm just saying, there's still a lot of work that has to be done.
Yeah, you're right. They could shoot it in the summer. They could. I mean, it's only 9 or 10 episodes, so they could, preferably they could have shot it pretty. They could shoot it pretty quickly, I would think. Maybe like a summer worth or something.
I mean, this is the closest that the rumors have come to saying that it's definitely coming back, but I mean, I still think that we might encounter a fell through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we've had so many times before.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they have, ordered pilots before and then they just canned them. So, now they just made an announcement. So, they haven't said exactly how much money it costs or anything. Probably because they haven't figured it out yet. They're just like, all right, well, you win, so figure it out.
It could be just Netflix getting people to sign back up for it.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Can you
true.
imagine? Everyone signs up for Netflix for Arrested Development.
Yeah.
And then
They're
they
like,
find out that it's not there and
"Oh,
everybody
sorry,
drops.
Arrested Development is it's a pipe dream. Sorry,
Right.
everyone.
That's right.
But you can watch House of Cards or actually Netflix is actually working with Weeds creator Genji Kohan, who is working on a show called Orange is the New Black. I don't know. I mean, Weeds was good for like 3 seasons and then it needed to end. But it didn't.
I never watched it.
It was good
I
for
never
like
watched
the first
Weeds either.
2-3 seasons, but then now it's on to like its 10th or something, 8th or 10th or something, and it's
Wow.
I don't know. It's kind of like lackluster now. So
Orange is the New Black. Is that like, I don't know.
I have no
Interesting.
idea. They're just working on the show. I don't really
Yeah.
know what it's about.
What is
Um,
House of Cards?
House of Cards is a British. It was originally a '90s British show, and then they're bringing it. And then Kevin Spacey is bringing it to the States.
Okay.
And it was like a
Nice.
huge HBO Netflix bidding war or something like that. And then Netflix won by bidding $100 million for 26 episodes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they went
Wow.
like, they were like, oh, here's a crap load of cash, and they just plopped it on them.
It's like, I think the guy with the cash wins.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, good job, Reed Hastings. You win. So what? Yeah. So that and what they're doing now is they're hiring like all these people that used to be on HBO and Showtime shows and stuff like that used to produce those kinds of shows, and they're actually going to help produce this show. So they're definitely calling on the people that know what's going on. They're not hiring amateurs or anything. So
Both of you guys watch TV on your computer screens, right?
I do. To a point. Not all the time. Like, some shows I actually do on
Right.
TV.
I almost never do. I mean, my computer screen's relatively small, but I feel like I have an issue with it that I spent a couple $100 on my TV, so I want to watch TV on my TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah,
I can't get behind setting up my TV on my coffee table and
Oh, wow.
putting on a TV show. You know what I mean?
well,
Especially if I'm going to be watching the same show with my wife.
I was just gonna say that we probably paid. We got our television set kind of discount, but then about a year ago, my husband got a nice widescreen computer screen, and it quite literally is the same dimensions as our TV screen. So it's like, regardless of whether or not we watch it on our television or we watch it on the computer screen, the only difference is that the resolution on the computer screen is much better than the one on the computer or on the TV. So the computer screen kind of wins out more often than the TV
And I
screen.
guess
because
you
of that,
can hook up your computer to your TV.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, we can do that
So-
too.
I mean, you
There's
could also-
attachments. I haven't done that
you
yet,
can
but
just stream Netflix something
and that too, yeah.
on your Xbox or your Wii or something. It's available on the Wii now, so
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
available on many
I
things.
have heard on
I
the
got rid of my
Wii
streaming.
because my parents do the streaming on the Wii, they're not as happy with it. Whereas my brother, they do it on the Netflix, and they said that I've seen the quality; it's really great. The streaming seems to be pretty smooth. My parents are having issues with their Wii. It's really pixelated. It'll get halfway through the show and then stop, and then they have to wait for like a good 20, maybe 30 minutes until it downloads the rest.
Oh God!
So
oh my God!
I've heard that the Wii is not a really good choice for streaming.
Where do your parents live at? If just a general area.
They live in a place that's about an hour away from here. It's a good it's one of the suburbs of Phoenix, so it's not it's a major
yeah.
Live in a major city, so it shouldn't be that, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I never had any
little wanting to stream anything on the Wii, so
we streamed through my Wii, and I've heard a lot of people say that they had resolution issues. I never heard anyone say that they had to stop and wait for it to buffer or whatever. But I never had any issues like that. Even with the garbage 0-star movies that I watched streaming through Netflix, I never had any issues with the way the screen looked, and I never had any issues with the buffering. Once it started and played the whole way through. And it never looked all that bad. I mean, only one time that I noticed it was pixelated, I was watching Mulholland Drive, which is from the early '90s. So even the resolution on the movie wasn't all that great. So, and I only noticed it because I paused it for a second.
Yeah. Streaming on Xbox 360 is fantastic. It's very quick.
I've seen it. My brother lives right around the corner from my parents, and I thought it was great. I was like, oh wow, this is so cool. We could just watch the whole thing right here, and there didn't seem like there'd be any pixelization or any of that. So I was like, wow.
And the best part for me is my monitor. Is actually technical specifications wise is actually better than my television.
Oh, nice.
I mean, it hits 1080p, which my television only hits
1080p. 1080p on my television looks amazing, but it looks even more amazing on my computer screen.
Right, exactly. Okay, so let's see here. A couple pickups. Grimm has been picked up by NBC, which is a milestone because it is one of the
Friday show. Yeah,
it is the only. It is also one of the only shows from NBC to be picked up. The hour-long dramas to be picked up by NBC this season.
They got to pick up something. They can't just cancel everything.
Well, it hasn't stopped them before. But
very true.
Yeah, but they're actually apparently it's been beating Fringe, which sadly Fringe has been sitting at its show the season lows of pretty paltry of nobody watching.
Well, that's because they took Peter out and then they tried to put him back in, and
Yeah, now it's very convoluted, and for people who haven't seen it, it's very convoluted. So maybe that's why. But it will.
Well, the last seasons of X-Files didn't do very well either.
Right,
but
yeah.
Still got it showed.
Yeah. So for Grimm, they're going to try to get more viewers by putting it in the Prime Suspects spot when it drops off. For a limited time, which starts December 8th. The Firm will take its place in Midseason, so hopefully Grimm will keep going. Maybe it's a little high up for...
Wait a second, isn't Prime Suspect on Thursday?
Yeah, they're dropping... Well, Prime Suspect is ending after it's 13 episodes run.
Right, but they're going to put Grimm there?
They're going to put Grimm there for a couple weeks, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember you were saying from the last show they're putting a Firm on.
Yep, the Firm will be firmly, no pun intended, on the Thursday show, the Thursday time slot. So,
have you seen any commercials for the Firm?
No, I haven't.
Have you?
Yeah.
I actually don't watch NBC. So
I was watching because I was getting ready for the football game.
Okay, yeah.
Or I was watching the football game, and that's the first time I saw the Eagles were playing on Sunday night. So,
is it looking good? Think you'll give it a shot?
I'm not gonna watch it.
Because you were saying before you don't pick up mid-season shows anyway.
So. No, not really.
It depends. It depends on how interesting it looks.
Yeah. Right. Let's see. You'll be happy about this, John. Dexter's got picked up for 2 more seasons.
Yeah, I can't believe that they were having issues trying to sign, get a new contract written up with Michael C. Hall. So I'm glad that was at least seemingly put together. I'm a little surprised. I wasn't sure how much longer they were going to keep it going.
It's gotta end.
The past couple seasons have been really good. It doesn't have to end, actually.
Really?
Like I said, the past couple seasons have been really good. And that's got a lot to do with the big name, like, season long co-stars that they've gotten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like Colin Hanks is on it right now or something, right?
Yeah, but if you watched Mad Men, Pete, I don't know if do you watch Mad Men, Amy?
I haven't, no. I mean, I've seen a little bit, but not a lot to...
He was on a handful. Colin Hanks was on a handful of episodes of Mad Men, if you remember, Pete. He was the priest.
Yes, yeah.
So his acting chops. Before that, I think I've only ever seen him in Orange County.
Yeah.
Which is I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
But it was a comedy, and it was kind of carried by Jack Black a little bit. But his acting chops have really gotten pretty good, and
yeah,
he looks so much like his dad.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he is Tom Hanks' son, so
yeah.
something's got to rub off, right?
Yeah, and 2 years ago they had John Lithgow, and last year they had I can't remember what her name is, the blonde girl from 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah,
Julia Stiles? Yeah.
Julia Stiles, yeah. So the writing's been really good. I thought they were going to try to wind it down because they were having issues trying to sign him to another contract. So,
instead of
I'll
one
keep watching.
season, they get two.
Yeah, I'll keep watching it. There's no reason to stop.
Episodes. So
I've heard good things about Dexter. I just haven't gotten into it.
yeah,
I've seen a couple episodes. I just, like I said, I need to start from the very beginning, and sometimes it's hard to do.
Yeah, I'm exactly
Sometimes-
the same person. I won't jump into a show like right in the middle.
No.
So-
I wouldn't suggest it. I mean, there's a lot of heavy kind of backstory, especially with the entire first season.
Mhm.
But it's a really well written show. As long as you have the stomach for it. It can get sort of violent at times, but it's a Showtime show, so they can get away with it.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited.
Cool. All right. So let's see here. Couple more things. Up All Night got picked up for 24 episodes, which is always fun. That's a good show. Hopefully
It's a long season.
Yeah, 24 episodes is a very big season. That's actually only 2 more episodes, but that's a lot. Let's see. Okay, so ABC came out with the Midseason. Last week we talked Midseason, just really quick. Pan Am has been removed from the lineup, replaced by...
I'm not surprised.
Good Christian Bitches / Good Christian Bells / GCB. Man Up has been canceled and replaced by this show called Work It, which equally sounds terrible. John and I were talking before that Man Up sounds kind of funny. It was funny, but at the same time, like, the premise, you think about it, it's like not that funny, so that's why nobody watched it. And this show called Work It is about 2 men trying to be successful because they're out of work, like car salesmen or something, and they dress up like women to be pharmaceutical reps. And not only do they pull it off, they might just learn to become better men in the process.
Do you remember the show Bosom Buddies with Tom Hanks?
No.
I don't.
I think it was like 2 or 3 seasons long. The premise of the movie was him and his buddy were working for some, business in, I don't know, maybe it was Chicago or wherever, but they couldn't find an apartment, so they moved into an all-women's apartment, and when they were at home, they had to dress and be women.
Alright.
This sounds, when I read that sentence, it sounded
terrible.
it sounded exactly like it. But I mean, at that time, Tom Hanks he was a nobody. I mean, he hadn't done any of his like younger movies yet. So, just because a show's bad and doesn't last long doesn't mean you're not going to get a lifetime movie star out of it, I guess, is the moral of the story.
I guess. Yeah.
Worser things have happened.
Yeah. Weirder things have happened.
I'm not going to watch it, and I don't suggest anybody else watch it.
Yeah.
But you know, who knows?
One of the biggest surprises was that Cougar Town, which is the Courtney Cox show, has been cut from 22 episodes to 15, and will not actually debut in the mid-season. So there's a huge petition right now to try to get them back. People are trying to wondering.
Wow.
When was it on?
It was I believe it was always on in like behind Modern Family, I think.
No, I mean, has it been on yet?
No, they were gonna put it. They said that they were going to put it on the mid-season schedule, and then they decided, and then they didn't. So
they ordered 15 or they ordered 22. They cut it down to 15, and now they're not going to show any of the 15.
Well, they might show it later, like maybe in like March or April or something. Maybe they're holding it off. Maybe Work It's gonna get canceled, and then they'll release it. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Work It's going to get canceled.
Maybe. Well, I'm not trying to jinx anybody. Everybody needs a job. Yeah, everybody needs a job. I'm not gonna say it. So anyway, we will go to movies.
Movies, yay!
Movies, and then we'll move on to our topic really quick. For those watching video, there's a preview of our topic. But so the movies, the weekend box office, the Twilight Saga: Breaking Dawn Part 1. It's really long.
Yeah. We already knew that this one was going to hit the top because all the fangirls and all the fan married women that need their, whatever.
Actually, a woman...
We're going to go and see it.
A woman got a DUI, and she cited her boyfriend not wanting to go see Twilight with her to make her get a DUI.
That is not her boyfriend's fault.
Yeah.
Actually, it's... Anyway.
He was just trying to survive.
He was trying to save her from the death that is...
just because your boyfriend doesn't go to the movie with you doesn't mean you have to drink and drive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the total gross for that film, unsurprisingly, demolished everything. It made $138.1 million.
It just goes to show that there are a lot of really lonely women out there.
I know a lot of people who are like, it's fantastic. It's just so good.
Oh, it's
and
terrible.
I'm like,
Come on. I've read all the books. I've seen all the movies. This one was by far the worst.
Oh, so you have
just
seen
in
it.
Story plot. Just because, come on. The whole, it's just...
Did you see it? Did you watch it?
Of course I went and saw it. I saw it so I could turn around and bash it. Are you kidding?
You
hey,
took
that's
one
America.
For the show. You took one for the show. Good job.
Part 2 is going to be much better, and because I've read the book, I know what happens and all that, so I expected it to be not so great. There was no plot. It was lame. You didn't even get a point of really caring about anything until about almost 2/3 into the movie. Oh. There's a wedding. They go on their honeymoon. I mean, come on. There was nothing interesting about it until you got, it was all fan service. And it was just,
So 2.5 hours of something that could have been condensed into, half an hour?
Probably. Well, but, hey...
Aimee,
kudos for Hollywood for trying to milk it and get
They needed to make 2 movies.
Yeah,
they needed to make 2 movies out of it. So.
And I'd like to thank Aimee for, taking one for the team. So we don't have to go.
Taking one for the team.
Yeah. After that is Happy Feet, Immortals, Jack and Jill. Oh my God, Jack and Jill still made money.
Money.
Aimee, did your kids go see Happy Feet 1?
No, we didn't take them to go see Happy Feet.
I didn't realize that the world was clamoring for Happy Feet 2.
I didn't either, because I wasn't really in the first one, but then I saw that they were coming out with the second one. I thought, why?
I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
it's no secret that they were going to do it because Brittany Murphy was in the first one, right? She was one of the voices.
Yeah.
And then she overdosed it's like a year and a half ago, right?
She died almost 2 years ago.
They said that it was because she couldn't land a role in Happy Feet 2.
What?
So it was a couple...
Kidding? I
mean, wow. I don't know if that ended up being the actual reason.
I doubt that's the actual reason.
That's when they first found out that she had died, some insider said, this is the reason. She couldn't land a role in Happy Feet 2, and she was very upset. And
probably on Nancy Grace.
Whatever. I don't know. But
I doubt it. But yeah, okay.
I first heard about that movie almost a year and a half ago, so I didn't,
it takes a while to
forgot about it until it came back. So
yeah. Okay, so number 5 was Puss in Boots. Something that was interesting. I'll skip. We usually don't do through all 10, but Number 10 was The Descendants, which is the George Clooney film. George Clooney's in the movie, directed by Alexander Payne. It made $1.2 million in 20 theaters.
That's limited release.
No, that's a lot of money.
Oh, I thought you were saying
the top 10.
only.
I mean, it cracked the top 10 for being in 20 theaters. It's pretty ridiculous. That's actually really good.
That's pretty good. That says a lot about the movie then.
Yeah.
I assume that the theaters were in L.A. and New York.
I think so. I think they were in some other ones, but yeah, that's probably predominant. So out this week is obviously these will be out tomorrow. Some will be out. One will be out on Friday, but the animated movie Arthur Christmas, Hugo, which is the Martin Scorsese film. Yeah. Adapted from a French book. There's the Muppets is out, of course.
Go see it in the theater. You don't want them in your home.
Right.
Sorry.
Then, the Artist, which is on Friday, but that is a French film, I believe.
Nice.
And then A Dangerous Method, which is a David Cronenberg film with Keira Knightley and Viggo Mortensen. It's going to be a very violent film because David Cronenberg just loves to have very violent movies.
Yeah.
Wait, what's going to be violent? I didn't.
It's called A Dangerous Method.
Dangerous Method.
It's
yeah.
Piece. I think actually maybe it's not. I'm not sure, but
no, it's about psychology, isn't it?
It's Sigmund Freud, yeah.
How is that going to be violent?
I don't know. David Cronenberg likes to throw in some very violent.
He does very psychological.
Somebody with violent
movies.
thoughts.
Yeah. Sigmund Freud is a very violent thought man. Anyway.
All right.
Kill your, your mother or whatever.
Yeah. A couple of Oscar bait films that are also coming out is called My Week with Marilyn, which stars Michelle Williams, who was last year in the movie Blue Valentine.
Yeah.
She is Marilyn Monroe, and it actually looks pretty good. I've been seeing some previews of it. It looks pretty good. And then another one called Rampart, which is the name of that L.A. Special Task Force that was very terrible and very corrupt. Anyway, it's a Woody Harrelson, and apparently it's also they said it's could be an Oscar nomination for Woody Harrelson. He's that good in the movie.
Well, he got an Oscar nomination for supporting actor a couple years ago, right? For The Messenger.
I don't know. I actually don't know.
As a movie that I haven't seen yet, but it's apparently about he's a
that's what I think about.
He's a military person who has to inform families that their loved ones have been killed in action.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I think he was nominated for supporting actor last year or the year before. It wasn't a big time movie, but it looked really good. I just haven't seen it yet. That's all.
Let's see. For The Messenger, yeah. He won. He was nominated.
He was nominated.
Messenger,
He didn't win.
For the Oscars and as well as the Golden Globe. So apparently he was that good. But yeah.
If I guess you're looking up movies right now, Pete. When does the movie Melancholia come out?
Melancholia is already out, I believe.
Oh, it's already out. I didn't know that.
It's in select theaters or whatever, and it apparently is ridiculous, crazy. It's just like
I heard it was actually pretty good. That's another Oscar bait movie.
Yeah, she said. I mean, it's obviously Kirsten Dunst is getting a lot of positive buzz over that, and apparently, it's so weird. Even though apparently the directors. It's apparently very subtle for the director. Apparently this is like mainstream version, so his other movies are even weirder.
Okay.
For if you don't know what Melancholia is about, Aimee, it is about Kirsten Dunst, who's kind of she kind of rushes into a marriage. She's not really too happy about it. She's also not a very happy person. But then an asteroid pretty much looms across the world and is going to pretty much destroy the Earth.
Oh wow!
So she gets kind of happy about it, and then her and her sister, who are always kind of had some sort of animosity towards each other, kind of work through it, and they kind of have this. So it's very interesting. Apparently, it's a very bizarre film. It's just the way it's shot is a very well shot film, but very bizarre at the same time. So very interesting.
Sounds like a Kirsten Dunst movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Virgin Suicides, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was saying that that they were like, oh, she's been picking like such good roles lately, and apparently she chose like pretty much every film that she's ever been in.
Oh, that's good.
I believe that.
So it's not just like, oh, I got to make some money, so I'm going to do this.
Except for Spider-Man. I assume she did that for the money.
I mean, Spider-Man had a good story, right?
Yeah.
Mostly.
The first one.
The second one wasn't bad.
The second one wasn't bad, you're right.
Okay, so let's see here.
Speaking of comic book movies.
Of comic book movies. That was a great segue. The Dark Knight Rises, the director Christopher Nolan spoke to Empire magazine, and he revealed some interesting details, which he usually is pretty tight-lipped, especially this movie. He's been pretty tight-lipped. And he actually revealed that this film actually takes place 8 years after the events that took place in The Dark Knight, which is a long time. And apparently Bruce Wayne is not in a good state. Of course, the main villain is Bane, played by Tom Hardy. If you don't know, he was... Oh, crap. He was in Inception, but I forget who he was. He was the con artist in Inception. So he got pretty... I can't remember his name. He got really jacked for this role. Like, ridiculously
sounds
huge.
like he would, yeah.
Well, he was just in another movie where he was a UFC fighter, right? So he was jacked for that, too.
Yeah, and he was also... Yeah, apparently he was in this other movie called, like, some other British movie as well, and he also got big for that. So he's one of those that kind of, like, gets smaller and bigger, kind of like a Christian Bale kind of thing. Apparently Bane is very brutal, which we already knew. They kind of changed it a little bit. Instead of, like, the huge things injecting into him, he's just got gas canisters in the back of his mask, which, if you've ever seen these pictures... He's got, I don't know. I don't know, John. Do you agree with that decision?
I don't have a problem with it. I think that it sort of makes a little more sense. What's the word I'm looking for? It makes sense in a engineering type of way. When you inject something in your body, it doesn't necessarily take to work right away, I guess. But if you are breathing in a gas, maybe it does. I don't know. They can explain it however they want. It'll work, and people eat it up, and they'll love it. And
it'll be
Bane. Bane is a character that I didn't think that Christopher Nolan would use.
But he did.
Yeah,
right.
He looks pretty good. I mean, it's not like he looks terrible or anything. So.
No.
I have to say, as long as it's better than the last incarnation, which it was almost like he was the boy toy of Poison Ivy. I'm like, hey, as long as he's not that, I mean, come on, man. It can't be that bad. I mean, because that was a really all-time low for that character.
Right, but it's funny that the way he looked in that movie was the way he looked in the comics, sort of.
Yeah, but, obviously, like Amy's saying, that
obviously it's
comics
cartoonish.
Transition is
sometimes
not the right way to go. And, I think, Christopher Nolan has done a good job in transferring that kind of, that kind of information into a live action without making it look stupid. So, okay, cool. So that's pretty much it. Like, it's a big thing in Empire magazine this month. So if you want to pick it up, go pick it up and have some
I've actually been avoiding.
You're gonna avoid it?
Yeah, I've been avoiding a lot of the stuff that's come out about it. As far as the 8 years in the future type thing, I wonder how they're gonna play that with the in The Dark Knight. They played up a lot of the technology.
Right.
So 8 years in the future, how could he even know
the technologies?
That way.
What the technology
will be coming forward 8 years as well. So are they going to be able to, make it make sense that it's been 8 years? Because some tech is like
easily come out where they, in the beginning of the movie, they just have a thing on the screen that says 8 years later, and then everything's essentially the same.
It's either that. I mean, 8 years is not that long of a time for things to change in terms of like the cell phones will get smaller or whatever. But now
10 years ago you didn't have
iPad stuff too.
Like music device.
Yeah, but I mean, 8 years from now, it's going to not. I mean, who knows? Nobody really knows, right?
Exactly.
When
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like when RoboCop came out, it was in the future, and they were driving around Ford Tauruses. So I mean, like, you know.
Yeah. Wait till 2012 when the Ford Taurus comes back.
Right. Right. Exactly. And
No,
it
what I'm
has come
saying
back.
is it's just in the last movie they relied heavily on Batman relied heavily on technology to defeat the Joker.
Right.
So I wonder if they're going to, if they rely heavily on technology in The Dark Knight Rises, if the technology they use is going to resemble a lot of what we have now, as opposed to being what Christopher Nolan thinks future technology might be like.
I don't know. I mean, Christopher Nolan's good at thinking of those random crazy things.
It's a stupid thing to quibble about, but it just seems like, do they really need to make it 8 years in the future if everything is going to look the same and be the same?
I think,
you know what I mean?
I don't think it has. I think it has less to do with technology.
No. Of course, it's got to go with, you know, how everyone's hated the Batman over the past 8 years, and all that stuff will come out. But it could have been 8 months, and everyone would still hate the Batman because supposedly he killed Two-Face or Harvey Dent. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't necessarily need to make it so far in the future that he would, you know, he would be hated.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll see how it works out. I mean, I'm definitely going to go see it opening night, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how they spin it, too. I mean, you know, it makes sense to me that if they're going to put it that far into the future, that they should have some new tech that that has kind of appeared since then, because he was like, you know, he's really rich. He can afford it.
I mean,
so
they might. I mean, they also might.
Line, you know.
They also might, with the way the story goes, he might be like, I relied so much on my tech in the past that I have to go back to my basics and not use any technology. That type of thing, where
that's true too.
They could totally avoid it.
We'll see how they spin it. When it comes out, we'll all go see it, and then we'll come back and, you know, rage about it.
Oh, yeah, of course, definitely.
Yeah, there's going to be new technology for sure. Catwoman's going to be in as well, played by Anne Hathaway. So we'll see. Definitely be interesting. Okay.
She's even got the cat ears.
Yeah, I know. Which apparently there's like been a lot of like vitriolic comments about that. It's like, you have cat ears? What the hell? Like, apparently everybody hated it, and they were like, you have to see it on screen for it to understand.
Yeah.
You know,
what do you think her costume looks like?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but you know, the one in Arkham City, it's still the Catwoman design, but a bit more of an updated look. This one, she's still kind of rolling with the, you know, the Batman Returns kind of look. So it's kind of, I can understand why people are upset, but I'm sure it'll look fine on the screen. But for now, like, obviously they're not going to.
What's Catwoman without the cat ears, man?
But the way, she would just be a crazy woman in leather spandex.
That's what she is.
But I mean, what I've seen from the pictures that I've tried to avoid, her costume looks like what her costume looks like in the comic books now. Or close enough to it.
Right.
With the goggles or whatever.
Right.
So,
okay.
You know, they're making movies and they're trying to sell comic books. They don't want to stray too far away from the other.
Right.
True. Very true.
Okay. So
what do we have for a topic this week?
Topic time. As we all know, so this past Friday, Chuck hit its couple weeks into December. It took a break until December. Fringe is on its winter break as well. It had a fall finale recently.
Next Sunday is the Walking Dead fall finale.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So ridiculousness, just craziness, which means up until, you know, the Januaries and the Februaries, there will be what I would like to call the Winter Dearth. So to help the listeners and to help each other.
You need to watch more HBO and Showtime shows because they don't go on break.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
There's still four more weeks of Dexter, and I get to watch them all.
So,
didn't they used to not do this? I don't remember it being such a widespread thing for all shows.
There was always a dearth. But
yeah, but it doesn't make any sense because they film the shows in advance, so it's not like if they're going to be filming the shows in advance, so wouldn't the actors be filming the shows while they're on their winter break? While we're on the winter break, wouldn't they be filming?
Yes, they are. But it's all about the money, man. It's all about the money.
So, but I mean, like, everyone's like, oh, they're going to be, you know, they're on the break because they're spending time with their kids, but that's not true. They're working.
It's us spending time with the kids. Not
Since
us,
when does Hollywood
not
care
you and
about
I,
us?
like Aimee spending time with the kids and the family. We don't have kids, but you know, Aimee having having quality time with the kids without the TV. You know, more family is around, so they don't want to watch like The Walking
Okay, I
Dead
mean-
with all the family around. You know.
Oh no, definitely not, because too gory. For kids.
Maybe not your family.
We wait
No,
for
no.
all
I mean,
then we watch the shows.
all right.
Right.
No, I get that. It just seems like they don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have to take this break.
They don't. But it's all
They
about the
can
ratings.
They could easily have 35 episode seasons and just keep working.
Right. But
Maybe take a couple weeks off.
yeah. Well, we'll see. Obviously, it has to do with the ratings. They don't want people to have new episodes on like Christmas and stuff because nobody's gonna watch it. And Christmas does fall on a
Right.
Sunday this year.
See,
So
I'd be fine if they just like did a 2-week where they didn't do anything for 2 weeks, but for almost a whole month. It's like, wow, it's so. I'm like, I'm at my limit now. I'm like, I don't know. I've caught up on everything, so I'm like, I don't even know if I'll be even watching any TV.
It's a month. It's a month plus because you still got the rest of November to go through, and then all of December, and probably a couple weeks into January.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty sad. But our topic is not to gripe about the Winter Dearth.
Our topic
Our
is
topic
always
is
to
to-
gripe.
Cope with the Winter
There's
Dearth.
got to be a little gripe.
So we're trying to discuss any movies or TV shows that could help us kind of fill the time a little bit. You know, ones that you haven't seen yet, ones you'd like to catch up on. Just enough for you to last these several weeks.
Yeah.
So which one do you guys have something that you'd like to talk about?
That's a good question. I think for me, I'm gonna finish. I found the awesome that is Big Bang Theory recently,
Ah,
so I will be going through all of those episodes.
very good. Okay.
I know that sometime during the month of December, we're probably going to get a Doctor Who special, so I'll be looking forward to that as well. I don't know. I've caught up on everything that I wanted to watch. Maybe I'll try to convince my husband to go back and see some of the ones that I think are really good. So, I don't know. We'll see.
What would you suggest that you would just like to pull out of the archives or a movie or something that you would suggest to help pass the time?
Something that's come out that we've already seen, or something that I'm just going to revisit the archives and we're going to pull this one out because we watch it every year.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be anything that would help you pass the time.
Oh, it's been a while since we've seen 24, so maybe I'll tell my husband, we got to sit down and watch some Jack Bauer, man.
Just skip past seasons 5. What is it? 4, 5, and 6, right?
Something like that, or maybe we just need to find if we've got we're missing a season, we need to go out and buy it, for Christmas this year.
Just watch all 8 seasons, and then you'll have just 6 more weeks of stuff to do.
Oh my god. Yeah, just watch them all day. You don't have to stop, right? Just watch it in real time. Start
In
it
real
at
time, yeah,
midnight.
exactly.
Start
Yeah.
at midnight.
You can
when
have it done in 7 days.
It's only like 19 hours if you just watch it continuously, so you
Yeah,
still have
true.
the time to sleep.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. The times that they're taking a break, you can go to the bathroom. All right, John, what about you? Anything?
I have a boatload of stuff to catch up on my DVR. I've got 7 episodes of Homeland to watch.
Oh,
wow.
yeah, that's some good
Yeah.
stuff.
Uh,
Highly recommended.
I think I'm gonna be caught up on Boardwalk Empire after we're done podcasting. I have last week's or Sunday's episode to watch.
That has the remote.
Yeah. I think I might want to try to catch up on episodes of Hell on Wheels. You've been watching that, right, Pete?
Yeah, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I didn't watch this past Sundays yet, but
So
yeah.
It looks interesting. It looks a lot like a show I used to watch from HBO called Deadwood. So I think I'm gonna see if I can watch that if I can. Yeah, I'm caught up on a lot of other shows. I have some Chuck episodes to watch.
That's on its break as well. So you can probably
Right, yeah, so I could catch up on that. And this is a time, man. This is a time for Christmas movies. I don't know if that's going to be a topic we're going to be talking about in the future, but
table that. We'll save that.
Yeah,
we'll save that for in a couple weeks.
I mean, this is the time of year when we pull them off the shelves, and that's what we watch until until Christmas time comes around. Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, good. Okay, so I guess what I would probably be doing is try to catch up on some shows that I was told about, like Boardwalk Empire, Game of Thrones. There's a couple other shows. There's
have you watched Boardwalk Empire?
No, I have not. Okay. So I do have.
They're only 13 episode season, so.
Yeah, so I have about like 20 episodes to catch up on. So,
yeah, about that.
Yeah, so I have those. And one that
Game of Thrones is good.
What's that? Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones is good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I can't wait for the next one to come out. So yeah.
Yeah, there's another show that I've also been meaning to watch called Falling Skies, which was a TNT show.
Oh yeah. I saw that one too. It was good.
Was it good? Yeah. So I thought it was interesting.
Game of Thrones is probably a little bit better, but like they did a really good job at making me care about the characters. Especially in Game of Thrones, they did the same thing too. I was really amazed at how well they balanced such a huge cast and made me really care about all of the characters. And like I got to the point where I was like, wow, I feel like I kind of know a lot of these characters, how twisted some of them are and how nice some of them are, and it's like, wow. But yeah, Falling Skies is one that I recommended my mom and dad, and I got them. I sent it their way, and they still haven't finished watching it yet. But yeah, that's good. That's good. Good sci-fi.
Yeah, and then one I would suggest. I know it sounds crazy. It may not be. Actually, I'll pick two. It might not be for everyone, but the reimagined series of Battlestar Galactica.
Cool.
It's a sci-fi show. For those who don't know, it is a reimagined version of the previous original series Battlestar Galactica. It was very...
Watched the original when I was a kid.
Was it? Yeah, I heard it was kind of like campy, like not really like. Have you seen
the original or the redone?
Have you seen the reimagined one? Maybe?
I've seen maybe 2 seasons. That's one I do need to catch up on because I know that it's finished. So I'm like, I should go totally do that.
So it sounds kind of crazy, but I watched the entire series in a span of maybe like a month and a half.
Oh wow!
Which is 4 episodes. It did not conform to the 13 episode, cable thing. It went like 18 sometimes or something like that. I blew through all of them.
Nice.
It's kind of very similar in terms of like character development and ideas, kind of like to Firefly. So for those who've ever seen Firefly, it's very similar. Like it's very character driven. It's less of like, oh, jump to sector 45 to shoot the phaser at this guy's face and he'll disintegrate and then we'll mold him back together or whatever. It's more like a show built around the characters, and they talk about the characters more than anything else that's about traveling in space. So it just so happens to be like a drama of people in space. It's nothing. It's definitely not too geeky or anything like that, and so it can. Even though it's on sci-fi or whatever, it's definitely for non-geeks and geeks. Another show that I actually only did 1 season. It's called Suits on USA Network. It is about a guy who has a photographic memory, who pretty much cheated his way, as he was fumbling around in college, stumbles into a law firm, trying to run away from the cops while he's selling pot. The precedence of him getting the job is actually very what the hell, but the show itself is very good. It's very a lot of the USA shows. It's just fun. USA has done really well in building shows around the world, the idea of being fun. And it also stars the Gabriel Macht. I don't think a lot of people know who he is. He was probably best known for The Spirit, I guess. Which was a couple years ago. It didn't do very well at all. So the two of them. So he's pretending to be a Harvard law student, he just graduated, but he's never stepped foot in Harvard. And then the other guy, he has a lot of faith in him. He knows he's very smart. So they kind of, the two of them go together and solve cases and stuff like that. But it's a very good show. I would recommend. It's only 13 episodes. It just finished its first season. It will be back in August, so it'll be a good little thing to catch up on before
Nice.
your shows come back and movies start coming. Well, movies will still be around, but you know when your shows start coming back regularly. So those are some suggestions from all of us.
Cool.
And and I guess that is it for ScreenView episode 8, the pre-turkey coma edition. Just a couple things to wrap up, just to let you know that we are on Twitter, so you follow us at ScreenView Show, or you can follow us on at TF Radio, which will also be will be interlaced, so no worries. The people behind the scenes are very good at tugging both strings. So we will be on Twitter. You can always contact us on Twitter or on the Facebook page or on tfradio.net. So for this week, we have John Denny, Aimee Morgan, and I'm Peter Van. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Yep, absolutely. Eat lots of turkey. Take a long nap.
Forget to it.